Hey Mervyn, it's Phil here. I'm just sending through the information on what you do in preparation and after a wedding service and the role of the minister. So before the wedding, I've got a list up here of 5 things, and what our responsibility is from the moment that we get a notice to us, what we do is write that date down on the number 1 thing called the Notice of Intended Marriage. And that document looks like this, the Notice of Intended Marriage, and the information in this document can be filled out from the time of that notice, and that front page is filled out with your information and so on up top, and then information on the back has to be witnessed, and there's a minimum of 100-point ID that has to be filled out. So you can see here the steps, and I'll just come back up to the board. We need to fill out the Notice of Intended Marriage, and that information, the notice needs to be given a minimum of 30 days before the wedding, but the information can be filled out any time up to a day before the wedding of that, if that's required. Sometimes a person's overseas, and the full information about them is only given the day before, or they can only sign it the day before. So number 1, fill out the Notice of Intended Marriage. 2, there needs to be 100-point witness information on that, and proving their ID. And again, going back to this and the back of the Notice of Intended Marriage, you can see there the documents that are written, and I normally get people to make sure they present to me a birth certificate that's an original, or one from the Register of Birth, Deaths and Marriages, or a passport, and so on. So I try and get that. It has to be a minimum of 100 points. After that, so that's filling out the back of the Notice of Intended Marriage. So 3rd point is determine how many times you're going to see the couple, and you can actually use those times to fill out information. Number 4, if a person is divorced, you must witness their divorce certificate, their decree absolute, and on that document it will have the date that the divorce became final. And then number 5, you have to fill out the declaration of no legal impediment to be married. And again, with this is the Aqua document here, the booklet that we receive, that we order, the official certificate of marriage. So you have the front page, and the information on here is essentially the same as the front page of the Notice of Intended Marriage. But on the back page of this sheet, you have what is called the Declaration of No Legal Impediment to Marriage. And this is actually an affidavit that the official minister has to witness, and the people have to fill out and sign, and this proves that there's no legal impediment to their marriage. This has to be signed the day before, around about a week to 1 day before the actual wedding. I normally fill this out on the day of the wedding rehearsal, and I use this as a day to finalise this. All systems go from that point. So that document is the official certificate of marriage, and on the back page of the official certificate of marriage, we have the declaration of no legal impediment to marriage. Okay, so that's one week, usually about 1 week prior to the wedding ceremony, that's filled out. So then after the wedding, we have to sign off on some documents, and most of that usually is done straight after the service. Now, just a quick note that the details of the pages of these documents, so for example, this in the marriage register book, which you will sign off on one of these, this is one of the certificates of marriage. You fill out all that information in this area here prior to the wedding, and on the day you just leave the signatures ready to be signed in this booklet, and then you yourself sign your own signature as the minister. Again, with the certificate of official marriage, the green booklet, you have that same information, and again, this can all be filled out through here, and then just the signatures can be left to sign on the day. So remember, with this one, the day before or the week before, you've had this affidavit, the declaration of no legal impediment, filled out, and then on the day, this is signed off and finished. So going on from there, so you can see you sign off on the brown book, which is the one that stays at Kingdom City, the hard-backed one. The aqua booklet is signed off, the cover, aqua covered booklet is signed on that one, and then the temporary marriage certificate is also signed, and I'll just show you what that is. These are kept in the cupboard in David Rolt's office, and this is a temporary certificate for couples who get married and they want to go overseas and they haven't yet transacted any paperwork to prove that they're married. They can take this with them, and this acts as primary evidence of their marriage ceremony. And again, the information is usually typed in, can be written on here, and then the witnesses and the spouse, the couple sign, and you sign on the day as well. Hopefully that gives you that information. The last thing I need to say after the signing off is then the sending of the documents to the birth, death and marriage register. You send away the official certificate of marriage out of the aqua booklet. Again, this booklet, you've filled out this page and signed it on the day of the wedding. You've completed this document, the affidavit of no legal impediment, the week before. And so you tear that out, and on this side here, you fill out the information of the details of when and where and what of the wedding, including your own minister's number to be able to perform the ceremony. And that then serves as a record for you to keep that this took place of the official document. So you fill that out, you tear this and send this to the birth, deaths and marriages register. And you also then send away with that document in the same envelope, you send away the notice of intended marriage, and you actually take off the front page. That's not necessary. In fact, when I get the couple to fill this document out, the notice of intended marriage, I tear that off. They take this front and back page home, and I keep this with me, and this is what I continue to fill out. But after the wedding, this also goes with the official document to be sent away. So this is sent away as well and serves as the evidence of the marriage with all their information and with the details presented there. The birth, death and marriage register information you can get online, and it's Cloisters Square, PO Box something, I can't remember the rest of that. Hopefully this is helpful and you can use that, and when you come back, have a look through the documents that I've got here. They'll be in David Rolt's office for your information and to check out. All right, my friend, hopefully that's helpful. God bless. Bye-bye.